Imagine millions of years ago, before humans ruled the world. In the barren African plains, we weren't the ones hunting, but the ones being hunted. Today, you'll witness the terrifying story of a prehistoric predator forgotten by history. A ferocious, intelligent, and bloodthirsty creature that actually preyed on our ancestors. Based on real fossil finds and gruesome reconstructions hidden from the world for thousands of years, this story isn't just fiction, but a true relic of a dark past. What exactly was this creature? Why isn't it recorded in history books? And could it still be living descendants today? Watch until the end. And if you find anything strange or have your own theories about this creature, leave them in the comments. Is it truly extinct? Or just lurking in the shadows? East African dust blew gently, obscuring every footprint that once walked the earth millions of years ago. In a remote, silent valley, a group of scientists carefully dug into the dry earth. Little did they know that what they would discover that day would shake the world's understanding of the origins of humans and their hunters. Behind layers of ancient sediment lay a puzzling skeleton. Sharp teeth had scratched the small skull of an early hominin, a species ancestral to humans that lived nearly 2 million years ago. The bone wasn't just broken, it was mangled with an unfamiliar bite pattern. A paleontologist, Dr. Amir, held the bone with wide eyes. He knew this was no ordinary animal. Not a lion, not a hyena, he whispered. This is something else. Meanwhile, inside a makeshift laboratory tent, the data began to be analyzed. The jaw size, bite pressure, and wound pattern bore the hallmarks of a long-extinct predator. But even more astonishing than that was the fact that this creature didn't just prey on animals. It preyed on early humans. Other remains were also discovered. Hominin footprints that stopped abruptly, mixed with giant claw prints from unknown creatures. The more evidence gathered, the more the line between legend and reality blurred. One of the locals, an old man known as Mzee Kalabu, approached the researchers. In a low voice he said, "Our ancestors once spoke of a shadow hunter. He came at dawn, leaving only bones behind." Everyone laughed nervously, but Dr. Amir didn't laugh. He simply stared at the bones silently, then whispered, "Maybe they weren't lying." Amidst the dryness and shadows of the ancient mountains, a dark secret was slowly being revealed. A secret about a prehistoric predator that not only threatened the survival of early humans but might also be the reason why certain species went extinct so quickly. A mystery lurked beneath the ground, and that monster was waiting to be discovered. The dusk sky was beginning to redden as the expedition team entered a narrow canyon dozens of kilometers from the initial excavation site. According to Mzee Kalabu, this is where their ancestors once evaded the dawn chaser. This place is known as Njidalai La Giza. In the local language, it means guardian of darkness. Dr. Amir, along with his assistant Nina and a field photographer named Yusuf, followed a cracked, moss-covered stone path. The deeper they went into the crevice, the damper the air became, the more oppressive the silence. Suddenly Nina stopped. "Look at this," she said softly. On the surface of the rock wall, strange images were carved. A large creature with teeth protruding from its lower jaw, large eyes and curved knife-like claws. Around it, small humans ran, some caught in its jaws. The images couldn't be modern. They were thousands of years old. They turned on their structural scanners and discovered a small cave hidden behind thorny bushes. Inside, bone remains were found again. But this time something was different. Among the early human bones were also those of other animals. Zebras, small hippos, even the remains of large reptiles. All showed the same bite pattern. This predator didn't just prey on one species. It was omnivorous. Yusuf tried to photograph the cave's interior, but his camera's flash illuminated something that made him pause. Behind a flat rock, there were claw marks. Not ordinary scratches, but deep, symmetrical ones, as if the creature had tried to get out. Or tried to get back in. Does this mean this cave used to be its nest? Nina asked, barely audible. Dr. Amir answered without turning around. Not just a nest. This is its territory. The sounds of nocturnal insects began to be heard, but amidst the rustling of the wind and the rustling of the bushes, there was an inexplicable sound, as if something deep underground was still watching, something that never truly died out, or something that left its offspring here. A fossilized tooth was found, longer than a human finger, curved and serrated. When Dr. Amir compared it to any recorded carnivorous species, none of which matched. This creature, he murmured, doesn't exist in history books, but it existed. And it hunted us. Night fell. But the dread in their hearts remained. Because now they realized. What they had awakened wasn't just a prehistoric mystery, but perhaps a warning that had been forgotten for thousands of years. Night was falling rapidly around La Giza's Njitalai Canyon. There was no artificial light, no sound of vehicles, only a small campfire and the heavy breathing of the expedition team, now filled with a sense of alertness. Inside the tent, Dr. Amir reviewed newly scanned data from a fossilized tooth. Based on the density of the enamel and its structure, this was no ordinary tooth. It belonged to a hyper-evolutionary predator, a large, unknown carnivore adapted to hunting in the dark. Its eyes were large. Its hearing was acute. And most terrifyingly, it was an intelligent hunter. This creature isn't like a lion or a tiger, he told Nina. It knows when to hide, when to attack. It chooses the most vulnerable prey. Yusuf, examining photographs of the cave walls, noticed another pattern. In each of the ancient paintings, the creature's eyes were always depicted as glowing, as if it were emerging from the darkness with a murderous gaze. But in one of the oldest paintings, there was a strange symbol surrounding the creature. It looked like a protective circle, created by ancient humans surrounding the cave with red stones. Did they ever try to lock him up? Asked Yusuf. Or seal it? No one can answer for sure. But when Yusuf left the tent to get measuring instruments, something in the air seemed to change. The wind stopped blowing. The sound of crickets suddenly disappeared. And from behind the dark bushes, a pair of faint eyes lit up, then disappeared as quickly as if they had never existed. They decided to leave the canyon at dawn. But the night lasted too long. In the midst of darkness they woke up, hearing the faint sound of footsteps, not like humans nor ordinary animals. Heavy steps. Slowly. As if circling their tent. Dr. Amir held his breath. He knew that voice. He had read the movement patterns of creatures in the fossil record. This creature does not attack directly. He watched and choose who is most afraid.